Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back for Jane the Virgin, chapter 56. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's just us two.
It's just us two. We had to start this episode with just the two of us.
Yeah, it's been stuck in my head all day because I knew it was just gonna be us two.
I know.
Yeah.
Stephanie and Francelli could not make it tonight, but they'll be back with us next week.
Yep. Prior obligations.
Yes.
They're not leaving. They'll be back. Just us two today.
They'll be back. I'll be back. All right. Well, I am your host, Francesca. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at XOXOCESCA. And with me is my lovely other host,
Natalie Tavidian. You can find me everywhere at Natalie Tavidian. That's Natalie with a Y.
Yes. So I feel like this episode we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff to talk about, and then we kind of get left with this like cliffhanger. Yes, this episode was definitely really funny.
Because I've just been heartbroken since Michael died. Spoiler alert if you guys are just jumping in right now. Michael died, and like I'm still crying every single time that Jane has a flashback. I'm trying to hold back my tears because I loved Michael.
I know. I mean, and I feel like they're gonna keep starting off each episode with kind of a little flashback that does show something with Michael.
Bit, and they took us back way much further, like right after his death today. But yeah,
a little, yeah. And I mean, like for example, last week, a lot of people talked about this in the comments, which. BT dubs, we do have the chat open. What's up,
Hi.
Billie Jean? What's up, Renji? We're here, so talk with us today. But a lot of people were commenting on how we didn't mention this, how Jane kept replaying the message that Michael left her last episode.
Stop.
I know,
I
it's so sad. And for us, Michael just died.
Yeah.
For the show line, it's been 3 years, and yes, obviously you can't get over that in 3 years. But so yeah, everything's so fresh, and I think every time they show Michael, it's gonna be
get over that. And as she said, life will never be the same, and that's what her grandma told her: is life is never gonna be the same. But she's a strong woman, and she's having some anxiety, but she's
punching her way through it.
She totally is. Poor Jane. They put her through so much, and with the boss and.
Yeah, she is crazy. And so we see in the throwback thing, she's going to therapy, and the therapist taught her HALT, which was hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And
I've heard this before. I don't remember where I've heard it. I really think it was like a real estate conference that I was at or something like that. Like, be careful, don't react to things too quickly, or like when you are angry, or when you're like, you're going to overeat or make unhealthy choices, you have to halt. So right before she's going to have an anxiety attack, or she feels like she's going to have it, she has to take a step back and what is it? Check if it's anger,
loneliness, or tired.
And I thought it was so funny how she said it's all four of them.
And my mom has said something similar to this to me, and I realize when I'm cranky, it's because I'm hungry or I'm tired. So it makes sense.
See?
HALT.
We learned some lessons.
We did. So she's really dealing with HALT because she keeps having panic attacks when it comes to seeing Dennis. And so if you guys remember, Dennis was Michael's partner when he was alive and on the squad. And after we find out after he passed, he was there for Jane and would meet her for tea. Did you feel like, I thought they were going to be mad at each other because he tried to hit on her or something like that?
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I kept telling myself, no, I don't think so. I don't think a friend of Michael's would do that, but that's sort of what they made it seem like. Because she goes up to Dennis and slaps him, and that is exactly what I would do if someone, tried to...
make a move on you when you're grieving.
On me. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So but I kept thinking, no, it's something else. What is it? And then we find out that he betrayed her because he's like taking photos of his journal.
Yeah.
With the investigation.
So it was like I feel like he really did want to be there for Jane, but he also had his agenda, which was to try and rule out Michael with the whole investigation with Mooter and everything like that. But I mean, the guy died. Like, I can't believe, like, of course, it was Michael. He wouldn't have anything to do with it. What did you say? I'm sorry?
It was still sneaky.
Yeah,
it was still very
exactly.
sneaky. Like, talk to Jane about it. Like, I know you're grieving,
Ask her.
but this investigation's still open, and the department thinks that Michael might have had a hand in it. We all know he doesn't. I know he doesn't. That's why I'm on the investigation. You know, Dennis is a friend. Don't be shady.
Exactly.
I would have done exactly what Jane did. I loved the fighting.
Yeah.
I loved all the fitness on this episode. I'm such a fitness nut. I like the spinning and the boxing.
It makes me feel like, I just ate like a really huge dinner before we got here, and so I need to do that.
You're like, I want to get out there and punch something right now.
But she's just panning away, and then he ends up punching her, and she falls to the ground. But I think one of the key things in this episode was communication. And so we see finally she sits down and she tells him, like, you know, why she was upset, and then he, you know, apologizes. And they're able to kind of come back together, and he said, you know, I'm always here for you. BT dubs, I'm here every Tuesday or whatever. And I think that's good because even though she passed, you know, 89 sessions later of her therapy, everyone I feel like always needs some way to release.
Oh, yeah. I'm at the gym every morning at around 6 a.m. Every morning.
Wow.
It keeps me sane. It keeps me happy.
I'm just impressed.
And then
every morning at
Zumba
6?
somewhere in the middle of my day, too. Yeah,
Dang.
I really like fitness. I like food, too, but that's why,
well, that's why you gotta have fitness
I work
so you
out.
can eat the food.
Yeah. You know what I love, though? The what you said about the communication? It all came from Mateo.
Mateo did.
The conversation. I love him.
He was
He's
really
just
cute
the
this
cutest
episode.
little baby. He's such an adorable actor.
He's so cute.
I just it surprised. We were talking about it last week. Like it shocks me
how good.
How well these little actors.
Right,
are.
and Michael was saying that you know, just he came in and was going through his
notes, and
his
he knew
notes, and
he's focused.
I mean, he wanted to color in this episode.
Yeah.
And what about the factor? Factor it in. Like he picks up on everything.
Get a Rapology basket?
Oh, Rogelio and his baskets.
Rogelio's the best. But yeah, I loved how Mateo was like, "Mom, did you use your words?" And she goes, "Actually, no, I didn't, son." And that was a really cute moment.
Sometimes 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds can teach you lessons.
Kids are smart.
They're very smart.
They are smart. It also, I wanted to cry again. You know, anytime there's a Michael, anything about Michael, I want to cry. But when Mateo was like, "Mommy, you're making that face again. Are you thinking about Michael?"
Like he knows.
Like that just shattered my heart.
I wonder.
I'm holding back tears right now.
No, I wonder how much he really like remembers Michael, because he was so young when Michael passed. I wonder if that will ever be a thing that we'll see, or if it's just. I mean, but that was really sweet. Yeah. That he could see that his mom was hurting. Because
how old is he now? Do we know?
I think 3 or 4. They said.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, because it's at least been 3 years, so it's definitely he's probably around 4.
Somewhere around there. Do we know?
I see people in the chat getting ahead of ourselves. Everyone does miss Michael. I know. Michael. That was also another thing in our comments. Everyone just still misses Michael.
Of course.
You know, but at least he's not a body in the beach.
Yes.
AKA Scott. So that was the other big kind of deal.
Good transition there.
Yeah.
I like it.
So we find out Dennis says that it was indeed Scott's body, because we were questioning last week, is it really Scott's body? Did they just move the name tag? So it is Scott. And it ends up being on the Fairwick Hotel line, and which is good because they're trying to.
But it wasn't really
not in the
Miss Petra, who sort of has a crush on Chuck but still wants to help him. She's still looking out for herself. She's looking out for her hotel. Yeah, she likes Chuck. Yeah, Chuck's a hottie, but she doesn't want him to go down. But she's still looking out for herself. So she pushes. We see later on that she pushed the carcass body, whatever you call it at that point.
Carcass.
The bones.
The remains.
The bones right across the hotel line, so then the body was technically found.
On the Fairwick side.
Yeah.
Right. And we find out that, you know, the reason that she's doing this, 1, is, of course, to protect herself. 2, and to protect the hotel, because she just did rebrand it as a kid hotel.
Kid-friendly.
Right. And
second happiest place on earth.
No, I don't buy it. Don't buy it. So yeah, Petra ends up moving it. but Rafael's there to help them get, take care of press to make it so it doesn't become a thing because someone tried to leak it. And I like how they had her posing next to the fountain because she looked like so uncomfortable being like, we will miss our friend.
Nobody made a Scott. Nobody's gonna miss Scott. But look at us. It's great. That's great PR right there.
Right?
Yeah, it was perfect. Everything about it was perfect. But then because of that, Fairwick's
right
now
in like
gonna be
gossip.
suspected.
I wonder how much they're gonna keep this going since we're not really invested in the Fairwick. But I'm also wondering.
But at the end they already ruled it accidental.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's right.
Dennis said because Dennis was about to interview Jane and he was like, no, we don't need it. We just ruled it as an accidental this morning. But then it ends with some weird cliffhanger and I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know.
With Zen Rafael.
Zen Rafael changes a little bit.
His jail friend.
Yes. So yeah, well, I was gonna say one more thing about the body. I just forgot. I don't remember. But
were you gonna talk about the investigation and how they went into Rose's video?
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Because that was one of my favorite parts. So Petra's like, let's look through the videos and try to find out if we could see Scott's whereabouts and whatever before the murders. And they see that he's there, and at the bachelorette party, and then I guess the bachelorettes are saying that he's so drunk and blah blah blah.
I'm here making a cameo,
right,
with the champagne.
And so she and Rogelio are looking through the video, and they can't understand anything.
Huge communication barrier. Did he say something in Spanish there?
He like mentioned the name of like a telenovela, so he said he did say something in Spanish, but it was like
it was a
noun.
name. He wasn't speaking in Spanish,
right? Right. Yeah, it was like
that's
a proper
what I got
noun
from it.
But yeah. What did you say about a parrot? Like, I don't know. That was funny.
That was so funny. The communication barrier. But
she's like, I don't speak Spanish. She's like, well, I can't understand your accent. That was pretty funny.
Petra does speak really, really, really fast.
Yeah, she does speak fast.
Yeah. Like, I speak Armenian, but if someone's speaking really, really fast to me, it's not my first language. I'm like, slow down, hold on,
exactly.
say that again.
That's how I'm with Spanish. And then speaking of language, we'll get into this about Rogelio right now, but I really like that scene where Rogelio's sitting there with Abuela, and it was only in Spanish.
Yes,
I really wish Stephanie and Francilli were here for this.
Yeah, I know they would have loved that.
But, because Abuela's always speaking in Spanish. She always, that's just her. And I think that made it feel like a different connection between her and Ro. And he's apologizing to her. I know, it was cute. And she's like, I love you. But you have to see another communication thing. Another word I think this episode was about realization. And the thing was, you need to realize that you're so stuck on this fake reality that you no longer know what's real and what's fake.
I know I wrote that down too. It's a lot of like fake. The let's pretend we're in Hawaii, but we're actually in Miami. But technically, the show is shot in Long Beach, so it's another like fake on top of fake, like those layers to add on to that. I thought that was hilarious.
Asterisk. That's my favorite thing about Hollywood per se is that a lot of times people don't realize, like for example, Dexter was. The Dexter took place in Miami, but they filmed in Long Beach all the time. And so same thing here. They don't film Jane the Virgin in Miami. They film it here in Long Beach, in LA. So I think that was really funny that they called themselves out on it on the show. And they they've been doing that, kind of like calling truths to the show throughout the season. Like we've had a couple political references and like stuff like that. I don't know. So that was really funny.
I like it. They do a really good job at that. But yeah, that was hilarious because it just kind of meshed with the whole fakeness of Rogelio's television show. And speaking of the show though, I kind of feel bad for Darcy.
Darcy did kind of get like the shitty end of the stick because she wanted to have the kids and they made an agreement and she started falling for him, and then it turns out they don't work together.
I think we knew the details until this episode, what actually happened with Darcy's baby situation. Like, we knew that they were supposed to have kids or she was supposed to have a baby and it didn't happen. And then we found out she froze an egg, they unfroze it, and then he chickened out.
And
that is heartbreaking.
especially for someone, that's freezing their eggs. Like that's one less that you have, and
it's not
something you can get back.
I don't know what the procedure is with that, but I don't think it's an easy procedure, and I don't think
I know all about this procedure. What do you want to know?
Do you?
Tell us.
My wife donated her eggs to her cousin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then once it's frozen, once it's unfrozen and you don't use it, then
It's done,
It's
right?
done, yeah. So when you get them out, when they extract them, they put them right on ice, and you can either leave them on ice, or you could insert the sperm in them and start growing the embryo, and then that's when they see how many you actually have.
okay.
So like she yielded like 20 eggs, and then they put sperm in like 5, and 3 were good.
Wow, that's
Wow.
crazy.
So it cannot be an easy thing to
No,
go
and
through.
it's like a 3-month process of like no sex, no nothing, strict, like tons of hormone shots every day,
Oh my
a
God.
ridiculous amount of money, and it costs so
It
much
does. I
money.
do know that. Yeah.
That we know.
So much money. It was insane.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
So yeah,
So
not
Darcy
an easy
has
process,
every right
and
to
Darcy's
be-
been through so much. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you. So
Thanks
yeah,
for
she has
the
every right to
Details.
be PO'd.
Extremely.
And
Extremely.
I felt really
feel
bad
for her.
when she said, "The good thing that I'm famous now because it helps
At least
mask,
she has that.
her." And that's like
Empty hole in
that's
her
very
heart.
empty because
Yeah.
fame is fleeting, So yeah, poor Darcy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like Rogelio just gets so excited and gets into things, and like sometimes he doesn't really think about
Yeah.
what's going on. Especially like for example in this instance, how he told Zoe that he didn't know that they were going to portray her crazy, and in reality he did. He wasn't thinking. He just got so caught up in his fame and the show being a hit, and he ended up hurting
I
Zoe
didn't
again.
get that tape. I didn't get what really happened in that tape, but I know that Zoe was upset about it.
Right,
He agreed to airing something that
Right.
Okay.
Because
All right, so
you
that's
remember,
what that
like,
was.
she had that freak out scene and they branded her the crazy ex.
The crazy ex, yeah.
And she's like, it was just because I spilled coffee on me.
Yeah.
And then
She had a moment.
Rogelio said, I didn't know, nothing to do with it.
But
And
he
then
did.
Darcy,
And then
being
he says-
bitter,
yeah.
sends the video, says she doesn't, and then Rogelio tricks her into admitting that she did, and not saying that was nice, but we know where it's coming from now because she's really hurt.
Bitter.
Yeah, bitter, hurt, upset.
And then Rogelio apologizes to Zoe about that, and he mentions that he was upset because she had just moved in.
That's right. When he
Yeah.
finally communicates
Yeah.
with Zoe, exactly. I mean, they're always gonna have this love together. I feel like we didn't see Bruce in this episode. I know he's not like a main character in the show, but I'm just wondering how long their relationship's going to last. Someone in chat, Amanda says, "Here's Jane being artificially inseminated and Darcy being accidentally uninseminated."
That's just sad.
It is sad.
That's a sad reality right there.
Such a novella.
Yeah, totally. I don't know if we could scroll up, but somebody else said when Abuela got the sari basket.
Oh, and it was. Do you
And she
know
goes,
how
"Do you
old
know-
I am?
do you know how old I am?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
baskets were hilarious.
Yeah, right there. Ropology baskets.
Ropology, yes.
Yeah. That's
She
really
had
cute.
doily. Dude, that's such a grandma thing. Like, you go visit like older people's houses and they have doilies
He had
everywhere.
arthritis cream.
A
I
portrait
would
of
slap
Jesus.
someone if they gave me arthritis cream. I don't care how old I am or
With
what
Jesus
issues
staring
I
at you
have.
behind the cream. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that
Yeah.
Jane this episode took her first try at an apology basket
Uh-huh.
for
For her
Chloe.
crazy boss. Like, yeah. I can't believe she's gonna go back to her.
No, she's not.
She's begging for her job back.
She's
What do
gonna
you mean
be.
she's not?
So.
Did I miss something?
Yes,
you did.
Okay, so let's talk Jane and her job. So Chloe's just a raging bitch.
Yes. Quote.
And right,
And
is
I
that what?
quote.
Did you have it? Did you have exactly what she said to her?
No.
But yeah, so
Sorry.
she gets a book deal.
I did quote Mateo. You made that face. What were you thinking about Michael? I had to mention that.
That was
okay,
a good
back
quote.
to Jane.
So she gets this book deal, and she's gonna get $50K, which is her salary. So she's like, you know what? I'm tired of this lady. Let me just tell her off and quit. And then she realizes that the book deal, you don't get the lump sum all at once. It's,
No, you don't.
It's always, and
Jane,
I know,
you should
as
be
a
smarter
writer,
than that.
as an aspiring writer, you should know how things like this go. You're gonna get some up front, you're gonna get some later. Most of the time, if you get it up front or something like that, it's very small publishing, or you publish it yourself. But anyways, so she jumped the gun, and now she realizes she needs a job, and so
I love the 2-week notice. Thank you very much.
very,
for the
very much.
opportunity.
And she's like, I need 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that was good
I know
because you
someone
can't.
with a boss like that.
Oof.
Yeah, he got 6 months to a year. She would not let her quit.
That's like, how do you
Yeah.
not? I don't know.
They rely on you. They rely on you so much. Like characters like Chloe.
Yeah,
There are people out there with
executive
bosses like
assistant or assistant type jobs are actually really crazy. You're literally that person's
that. Yeah.
what is
Right hand man or
Right.
whatever.
what did a lackey, there you go.
Yeah.
You're literally that person's lackey.
Yeah.
That's what the narrator put in the beginning, Jane the lackey. Yeah, and so she's trying to get back her job with Chloe, and so she does a little basket, since she's her father's daughter. And but Raph over here, who's still Zen Raph at this point, is telling her, like, it's fine, like, you're not happy there, just come work here at the Marbella as
that's
the
right.
lounge manager.
That's right. That happened.
And I won't let you stay more than 2 years. I don't want you to get stuck here. You can keep focusing on your
That's right,
writing.
I knew that. What am I thinking?
It's okay. A lot of stuff happened.
I haven't had enough coffee today.
And the reason that they need a lounge manager is because, 1, Scott's dead. And 2, this new guy comes in and he just can't,
And Scott was really good at his job.
do left for right. And we find out that the only reason that
New
this
guy.
guy, Elvis, is working is because he was in jail with Rafael.
Yeah. And
so-
Rafael wants to give him a chance because he thinks he's a good guy.
But now we see there's more to this story.
Because they leave us with a cliffhanger.
Yes, they're in the back talking. Well, we see not the cliffhanger. We see that Petra had moved it. So we're like, okay, we know that there's still a backstory to Scott dying. But now, what did Rafael have to do with it? He went to prison, sure. But he went to prison for a white collar crime, like nothing violent. But now he's talking
About a body.
about a body, and I don't know. We don't know.
Oh, I don't think Raph has anything to do with this.
I mean, I think he might know what
can't. He's
happened.
Zen. He might.
And maybe that's why he's being
But
extra
he wants to be a
zen.
good example on his kids. Raph, I don't know what this. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm certain Raph has nothing to do with this.
I don't know.
I'm pretty positive.
I don't know. That's tricky, and I hope we find out more.
Yeah.
ASAP. I'm trying to think about anything else we might have missed before we get into.
I have one more thing.
Yes.
I think it's really important to talk about Jane and Raph toward the end when Jane tells Raphael, like, you're kind of Petra's bitch. And suddenly something clicks in him and he's like, you know what? I want to start getting involved in the Marbella again. And both Petra and
Abby.
Oh, she was there.
Yeah, she was
Did you
there.
notice?
She was
Did you
there a
guys notice
lot.
Abby was there here and there.
Ugh.
Both Petra and Abby were like, or Petra was like, oh, suddenly it's been a year and now you want to get involved? And he's like, yeah. And they don't really know what happened, but it really goes to show how much control Jane has over Raphael.
I mean, I feel they
Not
have
control, not control.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong word. Influence.
They have a really great friendship, and
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 he trusts her a lot. Like only she can. Yeah.
and she's like, well, since we're being honest here, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And I think that's good because, I think this will help us figure out what's going on, what we got at the end with this cliffhanger. But they do need to be there for each other because they should be together in the end. People are gonna hate me for saying that, but yeah, I don't know. It's nice that they.
I don't know about that.
It's nice that they can talk like that. I'm really interested to see if he's gonna shave his beard.
Oh, I like the beard.
I like the beard, but like we were talking about,
I like it.
last week, it's just to me it's just a little too much. It needs to be just a little bit like shorter or something. I don't know. Meh.
Could fix it up a bit, but I like the beard.
Meh.
He's rocking it.
He's rocking it. Ooh, and one other thing I thought of, back to Rogelio, he's getting sued $10 million for breach of contract, but he's doing it because he's tired of it messing with his real life. Also, hopefully, maybe this will bring him back closer to Zoe.
Yeah. See, that's a relationship I want to happen.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Jessica in live chat said that maybe this whole Scott death had to do with Rafael's parents. And that kind of, that's something to think about, because remember, Scott had the addendum, whatever, to the will. So if he had gone forward about that and we find out that Rafael's actually not his parents' son, then yeah, that could have caused drama, right?
I like that, and I also I don't know what happened to Aneska. So
yeah, for a split second I thought Abby was Aneska in the last scene where he told Petra he wanted to be in, and it zoomed out. I was like, Aneska? Oh, it's just Abby.
Nope, it's Abby. She's there. She's just there.
She's just there. I just can't stop thinking about her as the girl in Friday Night Lights.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so.
All right, should we get into some gossip?
You have gossip.
I mean, sorry,
Prediction?
It's late.
Your AfterBuzz TV
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna start off with, well, last episode we find out about the body, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Aneska, so I'm thinking she might
Still be around?
be dead too.
Oh, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
See,
Maybe they'll open that investigation back up.
maybe. My thing, what I'm still wondering about Chuck, because
I like Chuck. Chuck's the hottie.
he's nice to look at for sure. But why would they bring a new character into the show with absolutely nothing?
Yeah.
You know what I
There's gonna
mean?
be some drama with Chuck.
So maybe, I don't know.
Chuck's just too cool.
He's too cool, and it's poor Petra. I feel like we see Petra, we hate her one minute, we like her one minute, and she's just trying to get through. And
I
I'm
think
hoping
she needs to stay away from Chuck. He's hot, but he's too
right
hot.
there might be some drama behind that, and maybe he does have something to do with this Scott thing, maybe a Nesca thing. I don't know.
I don't know. He's just too cool.
I really can't imagine what Rafael has to do with this whole Scott thing, though.
Nothing. Rafael's perfect.
See, so you admit it. Rafael should be Jane's
I
person.
did not say Rafael should be.
perfect.
Nope, he is perfect.
just
He is a
kidding.
hottie. He's a great person. He's a great human being, and they make great friends. And that's all I have to say about Rafael.
Amanda in chat also just says, what if Abby had plastic surgery and that was actually a Nesca?
Ooh,
That would be definitely a trip, because I also think, why is Abby
that would
here?
be crazy.
Why is Abby here?
I think
She has to have a purpose.
Abby is just like a rock for Rafael right now, because he's very zen, and that's the type of relationship he needs to be in. And she seems very perfect,
So you
and his
think
life
there's
seems
nothing
very
behind
perfect
her?
and calm. No, something's gonna happen.
Okay.
But she's hiding something.
Dude, what if she is a Nesca? That's crazy.
I don't know about that. That's a pretty cool prediction. I like it.
That is a good prediction. I'm gonna write these all down. Yeah, I don't know. And I think I like that Jane's gonna be back at the Marbella, because that's
Yeah.
probably gonna add more dynamic since she's there and she's gonna be around and seeing things.
I like her in the management role.
She's good at that. She's a type A.
She is. I like it. She doesn't need the crazy boss.
What do you think Ro's gonna do about this whole being sued anything.
No, I don't know where that's gonna go. I feel bad for him. But he got ahead of himself.
He always does.
He brought it upon himself.
Rogelio.
We love him.
We
But
love him.
He needs to calm down.
Yeah. I
He
don't
needs
know.
to put family before fame.
Well, he did. That's why
did.
he
He
dropped
did.
out of his contract.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully somehow he'll
But it
be
sucks.
able to
He's gonna
manage.
learn the hard way.
Yep, and sometimes everyone needs those kind of lessons. And he's so spoiled and used to getting his way, so that might be his lesson.
Yeah.
And chat saying, "Where's Louisa and Rose?"
We'd like to see what's
They're
going on
definitely
there.
going to be up to something, because remember a couple episodes ago they were talking about doing a DNA test, and that girl was going to help do this. So
and then have to leave the country.
yeah, so they're coming back. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of crazy stuff probably going to happen, and I'm really excited because, you know, a few episodes ago I said I'm not sure how they're going to take this
I was
when
so
they jump 3
confused.
years
Yeah.
ahead, but I think so far
They're doing a
everything
great
just
job.
feels back in the Jane, the Virgin swing of things.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
doing an amazing job.
Totally.
Keeping us on our toes.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks everyone for hanging
We're
out.
gonna go through these in a minute.
I'm all reading everything. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us in chat. Please make sure to comment on YouTube. We read all the comments, weigh in our discussion, you know, like our YouTube, and if you're listening on iTunes, rate us 5 stars. You can tweet us. Where can they
everywhere.
tweet you?
You can
Natalie.
tweet me, Natalie Tavidian. That's NATALYTAVIDIAN.
Yes.
Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. You're like, you spelled it correctly.
Spelling it. And guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at XOXOCESCA, and we'll see you next week with the full piano. Piano.
Thank you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.